I decided to make a video of Western Union's first longlines towers. So I don't really do a video of these first longlines towers of AT&T, MCI, and Western Union and all that. But I figured the time has come I might make a video of the Western Union towers. And since Western Union was the one to have the first microwave network, these are the oldest longlines towers, like the very first longlines towers, because Western Union got their microwave network before AT&T and MCI did. So yeah, the network went from MCI to AT&T, and then from there to MCI. So yeah, Western Union had the first microwave network, and because of that, their first towers are the very first longlines towers. Now I've had filmed a couple of AT&T's first longlines towers a couple of times called the 7 Hilltops. So yeah, go check out them videos if you haven't seen them. But yeah, they're pretty cool longlines towers when it comes to them being the first ones. And they started a pretty big network after they built their first ones. So anyway, this one here's a conjoined tower. It got taken down in 2013. So yeah, it's up on top of a big hill in a big city in Pennsylvania somewhere. So yeah, it had this weird beacon set up. It originally had an old school incandescent, because Western Union towers are pretty old, so they're gonna have old school incandescents. Now some of them did get modern incandescents. Then they got the LEDs and weird beacon setups. So here's the picture at the bottom of that conjoined tower. Now this was originally a Firewatch Tower, because Western Union's first towers were built in the eastern, where all the trees and most forest areas are at. So some of them first ones were Firewatch Towers. So yeah, they were built in the eastern states first, because of all the trees and stuff, they had to be Firewatch Towers. Now here's another spot where a Western Union Firewatch Tower was, but then they turned it into a conjoined tower, and now it's gone. So they took this one down in 2010, but yeah, in 1957 they took the Firewatch Tower down and put up the conjoined tower. Now the Firewatch Towers are the first longlines towers of Western Union, so my next video might be about MCI's first longlines towers in between St. Louis and Chicago. They have a route in between there, which is MCI's first longlines route. So yeah, I filmed AT&T's first microwave towers. Now I'm doing MCI's first microwave towers. And then next, I might do MCI's first towers if I can. So yeah, they had these antenna dishes onto the side of the cabs at the very top, while people go up and look out for fires and spot for them. So here's the Firewatch Tower for Western Union, and the antenna has been repurposed. So this one's built in a very weird spot. So there's someone's house right over here off to the, down here on the left side of the tower, there's actually someone's house. And this tower is built very close to the driveway they used to get to their house. So yeah, it's a beaconless tower, but it's just built in a very weird spot. Now here's another longlines tower for Western Union that is hard to find. Now there's not any street view of this, but I can't find any street view of this tower because it's mainly built on biking trails and stuff. So this one was pretty hard to find at first when I found all the longlines towers in the United States and stuff. But it took a pretty long time to find all them longlines towers. And in the future I want to start a society, a historical society, to preserve these towers. And I also want to give their old school incandescents back up on them. I want to bring a comeback or make this incandescent that look just like the original ones, and actually put them on the towers to preserve them at their original conditions. So yeah, I really can't wait to preserve these towers. And for the ones that are taken down, I'm going to build replicas of them, like the older ones that were taken down or destroyed. I'm just gonna build models of them on the sites to make them look like the original ones, but they're actually the newer ones. So yeah, no, they're gonna have their old school incandescents back in sign markers too. Now here's a spot on a highway down from a cement tower where a Firewatch Tower stood for Western Union. This was another one of their first towers. So this tower here's got some dark history to it. Now, they say this tower was built in 1945. I think that's what it was built. So, when Western Union closed their microwave network in the 70s, 1976, they closed their microwave network, and this tower was sold off to a company, or the state of Pennsylvania, because they was wanting to build a highway through here. So, what they did was they gave it to the state of Pennsylvania, and they took it down to build their own tower here. And yeah, there's the tower right here, a 60-foot tower. So the state of Pennsylvania uses it for their highway. But in 2004, this site has been re-abandoned. So all the cell phone antennas and communication antennas have been taken off the tower because it's been abandoned again. So yeah, the Firewatch Tower is no longer there. It was like taken down from 1971 to, well, it was taken down somewhere in between 1971 to 1999. But I think I've seen it on Google Earth going back in time to show the historical imagery. Because you can go back in time on Google Earth to see a different imagery. And I like to see these old towers, what they look like over time. So yeah, this site's been abandoned for the second time. Now here's another Firewatch Tower that's by another cement AT&T tower, but the cement tower near this was taken down in early 2000s, so it's mainly just this tower now, the Western Union Tower by itself. The cement tower stood right beside this one because Western Union and AT&T and MCI built their towers together because they compete with each other. They're like a monopoly or whatever they had. But only Western Union had their microwave network for Cold War only. It was like a telegraph company. And Western Union had the very first telegraph back then. So yeah, these cabs look pretty cool on the towers. And where that dish is, that's where the communication dishes where Western Union would have them. And then the people would be up in there and the antennas down here off to the side. So yeah, this one was painted silver in the early 2000s when American Tower bought it. Now here's another one that's beside a AT&T Long Lines Tower, but the AT&T Long Lines Tower behind this one's made of metal. It's a steel tower. So this one here doesn't have that much history, but the cab on the top of it was removed. And this was another beaconless tower. So yeah, it would have an old school incandescent if it had a beacon. And here's another one in the middle of a forest. Now, the first thing I noticed when I seen this picture on Street View, first thing I noticed was that right there, the microwave dish. Now, these here are actually the original dishes for Western Union, and they also have an antenna on to the top of it. So yeah, this one still has its original red and white paint, because originally back then they would paint them red and white. That's how the standard was back then. But now it's really rare for red and white towers to be put up. I mean, they're pretty silver now, so yeah, these Western Union towers look really outdated compared to today's new towers. But they're still pretty cool though, and I want to preserve them in the future. And if the cab was taken off, it would make this big platform look kind of like it was a Long Lines Tower. So yeah, Western Union also had Conjoined Towers too. But some of these, the original ones, were Firewatch Towers, the very first ones. So this one here has the round dishes on it, but they were taken down in 2018. So this one no longer has the big red dishes on it. They would point towards the other two towers in its route. Now this one's in the middle of a neighborhood in a big city. So it was pretty hard to find this when I first found it back in the first days of my finding Long Lines Towers. But it's pretty fun to find longlines towers, because I like to have some time alone and finding things on Google Maps. So yeah, I find lots of interesting towers every time I look for something I want to find on Google Maps. Now this is another Firewatch Tower in the middle of a forest, one of Western Union's first towers. This one's been repurposed as a 911 tower because it's near a fire department. It's also got a police department behind it too, so this one doesn't have a building below it anymore. It's just the tower now, so the building below this one has been removed, so it's just basically a tower with antennas on it. They probably have the equipment inside the cab, I'm assuming. Then here's a historical picture. Now this is the only picture I found of this one, but luckily this tower still stands today, although the cab is not on it anymore, so it's just a four-legged tower with nothing on it, although the platform halfway up is still on it, so yeah. And here's another one that's been repurposed with 911 antennas at the very top. I mean, when they use it for 911, that's because they're radios for police and they can respond out to emergencies and stuff, so. Because, like, here in Ohio, all the conjoined Western Union towers been repurposed as 911 towers now. So yeah, then Ohio has a lot of conjoined towers. But most of the ones in Ohio were taken down or replaced with 911 towers that are three-legged. But some of them in Ohio still stand today. They're still standing tall and really sturdy. But yeah, the Firewatch Towers are my favorite Western Union tower. The very first ones. Now this one here still looks pretty good with its red and white paint. Now this one here was actually recently repainted because a new owner had bought it and wanted to put his ham radio antennas and FM antennas on it. So a microwave antenna that's present now can be seen up on the tower off to the cab. But yeah, this one's for a ham radio now, and another one out in the middle of nowhere has also been repurposed for ham radio. So yep, this one's like at an intersection with two roads coming together. It's like right near the intersection. Like, you can drive by to a stop sign, look over at it, you can see all the details on the tower like it's red and white paint, and all the wires and antennas. This one's just under I can't remember how tall this one was. I have to look at my papers again about this, but I have to keep track of all the towers as I find them. But I'm done finding them long lines now, basically, because I feel bored after finding all of them, because now I have nothing to find. But I might as well just find all the red and white water towers now, keep me busy once in a while. So I did find all the candelabras and whatnot, so yeah, it's all about keeping me busy with stuff. Now this is a Firewatch Tower that doesn't have its cab anymore for Western Union, but this one had its cab taken off in the 70s and the dishes were actually placed off to the side of the tower. So if you guys know what two beacons those are at the top, please let me know. I think the bottom one's an old school incandescent, but I'm not sure what the top one is. But this one doesn't have that beacon set up anymore. It now has a dual strobe, an FH324. And here's another one that's got an LED. It's lost its cab. But imagine going up those stairs and there's nothing up there to do. Like, you can't go in a cab up there because it's been taken off. And these are not the original dish antennas. These are newer ones because this one's been repurposed as a cell tower. And it's also got a new cell phone tower platform on it too, so this platform's not on it anymore. Alright, so this tower here was either taken down or it was made taller. So here's it today, but in this picture the tower seems a little short, but I'm not sure if they made this tower a lot taller or if they replaced it. But yeah, I can see the stairways and it has the building below it, but in this picture it just seems a lot taller and it's a beaconless tower. But yeah, I'm not sure if this tower is as original as this one, or if something happened to this one, like it was destroyed by wind, but this is the same site. But anyways, this one here is where a Firewatch Tower used to be for West Union years ago. This one, I think it was destroyed by wind, and they built a cell phone tower there now. So yep, it's a... Now here's another Western Union tower that was like taken by the state. So the state of New Jersey bought this tower from Western Union in the 70s because they wanted to build an interstate highway. The state takes all of the towers and tears them down for interstate highways. I mean, come on. You could just literally built the interstate highway around the Western Union Tower. But yeah, Western Union was like really wanting to sell their towers as soon as they closed up their microwave network. But yep, this one's like in the middle of an interstate now, but it's not there anymore.